Okay, welcome to tonight's session. Our session is now on recording. So, the topic for tonight is going to be test plan, test cases, and test scenario. We're going to see how to draft a test plan and test cases that we're going to use to validate our product or our implementation. After the full configuration, we need to get it tested against all the acceptance criteria. By now, we know what acceptance criteria means, so we're going to be testing all the user stories against the acceptance criteria. So that's what we plan to achieve. So what is test plan, test cases, test scenario? So these are the things we plan to understand. These are key validatory method or techniques we are going to use. We need to validate our work, making sure that our work meets the standard. So we need to have a plan. Number one is to have a plan on how to achieve that. So a test plan is a formal document outlining the strategy, resources, and schedule for testing activity. It acts as a blueprint to guide testing team and ensure all aspects of the system are thoroughly validated. Like I said, it's a validatory blueprint, is a validatory plan for validation. That's where we start. Then we need to have scenarios where this testing is going to take place. Scenario. A test scenario is a high-level description of what needs to be tested. It represents a particular functionality or feature from an end user perspective. So that is a scenario. Every test must be carried out within a scenario. But within the scenario, we have the actual test that is going on. So we must specify each case we are going to test, like each user story that are going to be tested. That is what we call test case. A test case is a specific, at this point, is no longer high level. High level is a voluminous work at a chunky stage. But when we talk about, in this scenario, test cases are low level. I want you to understand it this way: high level, low level. It's just like main category, subcategory. So test cases are broken down a bit, so they are specific set of inputs, execution steps, and expected outcome designed to verify particular functionality of the system, which is testing user stories. By now, if you don't know what user story is, and you don't know what a feature is, and you don't know what an epic is, then you are lagging behind. You have to go read up our notes on product backlog, because we've captured all those under product backlogging. So, key components of these test cases, test scenario, and test plan. We are going to start with test plan. How does a test plan look like? You are a business analyst. You want to create a test plan. You need a good template to make life easy for you. That is what I'm doing here. A template is going to make life easy for you. You know what to capture within every component, every section. You know what to do. Number one, it must have an objective. Every plan, test plan. The goal of the testing effort, that is the objective. That is the objective. What is the goal? What are we trying to achieve? 2, scope. Features and functionalities to be tested. You must know your boundaries, what needs to be tested. Environment. Where is this testing going to take place? Which environment? Where is the environment? What is the hardware involved? What is the software involved? What are the other required tools? These are various environments. You need to state the environment. For instance, if the testing requires a laptop, you need to log into a software like Dynamics 365. From there, you can then see where to test. Then you can see maybe you are testing lead management features. And the environment is this: the software, the hardware. The hardware and the software, is it a Windows server or what is the operating system? We need to understand the environment, testing environment. Just like when we are building, we know what we call developer environment. Jira is a developer environment, dev environment. Like project environment, like FreeCamp is a project environment. Then strategy, test strategy. What is the approach? Approach to testing. Is it going to be manual or is it going to be automated? We have manual testing and we have automated testing. In our own case, we are business analysts and we are going to do this testing. So we need to carry out manual testing. That is the minimum testing. If we are professional testers, then we are going to use, and depending what you are testing, not just because you are a professional tester, you start using automated testing. It depends on what you are testing. But most of the time, if they're hiring testers for test automation, mainly is you're going to test raw code environment. That's what we're going to be testing, not configuration environment. We use so many tools like Selenium and the rest of them, but this is for, you need to have another test, another boot camp, another training if you want to become a full-time tester, where you are going to be training on all these automated testing activities and softwares like Selenium. But in our own case, we are just BAs. Manual testing is enough. Testing type. During testing, there are different types of testing. We need to understand the one we are testing. We have functional testing. We have non-functional testing. We have regression testing. We have performance testing, etc. Functional testing is when you want to test a feature, functionality, if it's working. For instance, if you want to log into a system, you need a password and you need a username and a password. So you need to go to the login page and key in the username and password. That is functional testing. If you are logged in and the system takes you to your account or to a dashboard for users, it means you have passed it. But if you cannot log into the system, then maybe see it's a bug. So that is what we call it functional test. Non-functional testing is when you want to test something like it's not functional, it's like speed of a system. Like if you want to log into the system, what is the speed level? At times you want to log into it, you see the system keep on rebooting or rebooted for some time before it finally settles and you can then start using the system. Some takes longer time, some takes shorter time. When you are testing for speed, we can call it, because it's a speed, it's not a functionality, we can call it non-functional. We have regression testing. What is regression testing? After you carry out the functional testing, the first testing, functional testing, and let's say it didn't work. You want to log into a system and it didn't work. Then what will capture is that there is a bug that's stopping us from logging in. The bug is what we call error. Then the developers need to go and fix the bug or fix the error. Or you can call it error, you can call it error code. So when you call it error, then whatever message, that's why you call it error code or error message. So you can call it bug, you can call it error, you can call it defect. These are names you might see, so you know that they are just representing the same thing. So doing regression testing, after testing and it doesn't work, developers will go and fix it. And after fixing it, you come back to test it again the second time. When you test it the second time, and during that second testing is what we call regression testing. So, and then you have performance tests. Performance tests just like most of the some of the like non-functional tests can be performance. How is it performing? Is it performing below the expectation or above expectation? You know, how many, what is the like if you want to test internet capacity, you can say, let me log 5 systems within this internet to see the performance, if you can carry up to 5 systems. In this, what we are testing is performance. Can it carry it? They want to know the limit. So this is where the performance can be classified. Then we'll have another thing here, another big component in a test plan called schedule. Schedule is timing. Every activity in a project must have a timeline. So timeline for the testing, is it going to be for 1 week? Is it going to be for 2 days? Is it going to be for 1 hour, 2 hours? You need to decide depending on the amount of work you are working on, the amount of test cases you are working on. Then we have resources. Testing team, that we call resources. When we talk about resources, talk about human resources, when we talk about material resources, so human resources here are the testing team, and they will equally have material resources that can be tools we are going to use. So do we have enough human resources? That is testing team members. How many team members are we going to be needing for this testing? What are the tools we are going to use for this testing? Do we need to buy them? Do we need to rent them? Do we need to procure? Whatever. So we must specify so we know what we need. That's the resources. And the risk and mitigation challenges and strategies that address them. What are the risks involved during that testing? Testing is a very big issue. It's a very big occasion. A very big occasion that needs to be planned very well. We shouldn't take it lightly when we want to carry out a testing environment. When we want to carry out testing initiative or testing activity. Why I say that is very, very important is that the whole team has spent a lot of time building a system. And after building the system, now you want to showcase what you guys have done. That's a big occasion. You might even want to invite big men, stakeholders, CEOs. This is a moment of exhibition. So you must be able to look out for what can disrupt that kind of big day, big occasion, that we build a very powerful, let's say a Zenith Bank. I've never had a mobile app. And finally, big Zenith Bank, we've finally finished building our mobile app so that users can download and we want to test it. So we need to bring the CEO, all the big people to come and say what we want. That is, we call it UAT testing, that is user acceptance testing. You can equally call it sprint review, where the stakeholders come for us to see what we've done. So a lot of things happen. I want to bring our attention to what happened recently at Silicon Valley. You know, it happened. How many of you follow this event, or how many of you can remember the event I'm talking about at Silicon Valley, at Facebook, our Meta headquarters? So you remember that? Or am I talking to a dead class?
Is it the unveiling of their AI eyeglass?
Yes. So what happened? I posted this on our platform as well for you people to read. You don't even listen to news. You don't even read the article.
I read it, sir.
So what happened?
That was when Mark Zuckerberg was trying to do a demonstration about the Meta glasses, and it failed.
Mm-hmm. That is testing. Well, you know that is testing. Yeah, that is testing. They want to test their product before they roll it out. It's not being rolled out. What could have, in our own case, if we want to plan this activity, what do? So we must have, let's say, we plan to carry out this kind of testing, and let's make it simple. You have one tester, or you have we've planned that one user is going to come and carry out this. So we plan everything around one user, around Elijah, train Elijah what is going to be carried out, what Elijah needs to do. And that particular day, just like Elijah's style, Elijah decided not to show. Yeah, maybe Elijah become having headache or having stomach upset, and so he's not coming because he's not feeling sick. And we even invited our stakeholders, even the CEO is coming. Is that not a big challenge for us? And no one has, we didn't prepare anyone to come and carry out this testing. That is a big risk. So what we mean is that in a situation like this, we need to have like 2 or 3 team members who are going to train. We're going to have like 3 testers available. So these are some of the things happening to some of you here in your team. You don't take things seriously, but things you don't take seriously here might be things that might cost you a job. You want to, I'm giving you opportunity all the time for project status updates, and you come a team of 10 people, only 1 person will come. What if you guys mess up and the stakeholders become angry and decide to sack all of you? Don't you all of you can be sacked? So you must make a strategy, mitigation strategy. If I'm you, 1 person cannot come here, even 2 people cannot come here for presentation. 1 person must always be backup. If the first person is jonesing, the second person will take over immediately. That is a teamwork. That's how it should be. So, risk and mitigation is extremely important. All right. So that is a test plan. We see all components for test planning. So we have the test scenario issue here. So now we want to look at the scenario. What do we need to do? Number 1, a test scenario will have a scenario ID, because we can have different scenarios in a project. We must have a unique ID. Scenario ID, a unique identifier for the scenario. Scenario description, high-level overview of the functionality to be tested. Dependencies, requirements for the scenario, such as the user, rule, or data. What are the dependencies? We need to state all of them. Priority, importance of the scenario. If you have up to 10 scenarios we want to test, how do we prioritize which one comes first, which one comes second? That is it. Then we have test cases, specific of what we need to be doing. Then in test case, we need to have text ID, a unique identifier for each test case. Test description, a summary of what the test came to verify. What is this test case is verifying? Precondition, requirements or setup needed before the execution of this test. Then test steps. You know that the person that is going to carry out that testing is going to be a user. For instance, a user will come and use the product the way a normal user will use it. The tester there, your role as the tester is that it's not you, the tester, that's coming to do the carry out the testing. You, the tester, is to plan the testing activity, just like what I'm doing here. All this I'm doing like I'm a tester. All these planning test activities, and this is what we are doing. The final activity, the final is going to be the user, that more especially if you are conducting a UAT user, which is very, very common and essential. Step by step, they are not savvy, they are not IT pros. So you have to put it at the back of your mind that these people are not professional. So you need to make things easy for them. Don't presume that they should know how to do it now. No. Step-by-step action need to be created for them to know what to do. And then we have expected results. Before the testing starts, you already have something you are expecting to see. So if you don't see what you are expecting, you know there is a defect. So outcome, if the system works or as intended, that is expected result. Actual result. The actual result is going to be A or B. A is working as expected. B is not working as expected. So actual result, the observed outcome during the testing, and then the status. If the actual is passed, yes. If it's failed, you need to state what then happened after the testing, which is the actual result. If actual result matches the expected result, yes, you guys will have to go and celebrate. But if it falls short of the expectation, then we consider it failed. Or in some cases, a test might be blocked. We refuse when during the test, and so maybe we just block it for one reason or the other. And so you can have these three scenarios where you can, after the test, you say, this is the status of this test. You know, it is okay. Like one of you guys are coming to for your project status report. We are coming to say, yes, your project is good or it is not up to standard. Or in some cases, I tell you guys, no project status update. Like what happened to the I blocked it. You know, meaning that yes, it's still hanging. We're still going to have it, but it's blocked for now. That is what we call block. We didn't finally do the testing. Okay, let's look at an example of all this grammar we've been dishing out. Let's look at the first example of Dynamics 365 ERP Business Central. The test plan for Dynamics 365 Business Central, the objective, which we captured up there, is validate the functionality of Dynamics 365 ERP Business Central for finance module. Then scope, focus on account payable, account receivable, and general ledger. Then test environment, Windows Server, Dynamics 365 ERP Business Central, SQL database. These are the three environments that must be in place. Then test strategy. We can use manual testing or automated testing using Selenium and Jira. But in our own case, like I said earlier, is manual. Testing type, functional, regression, and integration testing. Schedule, this testing is going to last for 3 weeks, 1 week per module. Like here we see the module we're talking about here. We say account payable, account receivable, and general ledger. We can just say one week for each of them. And resources involved. In the resources, we say we are going to have 2 testers, 1 test manager and 1 business analyst. And then we can equally say risk and mitigation. We capture risk as data inconsistency. So use sample data for testing. So we don't want stories. So we need to make sample data available for testing, avoid any kind of data inconsistency. Then we come down to test scenario. What is the scenario? So the first scenario here is test login functionality for all user role. All the users that are going to be using Dynamics 365 Business Central, we need to test if we can, all the roles, can they log in? For instance, every role will have different permission. So can we log in as, let's say, in Dynamics 365 Business, can I log in as an accountant? Can I log in as a procurement manager? Can I log in as sales or finance manager? All the roles there, can they log in? That's functionalities. Dependencies, use account setup, and priority is high. So, second scenario, validate invoice creation in account payable. Dependency, sample data uploaded. Okay, we see 3, ensure payment posting to the correct ledger. Then we say dependency, integrate with bank account. So these are different scenarios that are going to be tested. Then we'll say test cases. Each activities, specific activities. Number one is verify login with valid credential. And 2, validate invoice creation in account payable. Ensure payment posting to the correct ledger. And you see it here, and that's it. All the testing will catch up here. We equally have here the main ID, test ID, then describing the test activity. You have a precondition, you have test step. You see, as I created step by step, 3 steps to carry out these tests by any person carrying out the test. Navigate to login page, enter valid username and password, then click login, and then expected results. The user is directed to the dashboard, and then actual result as expected, status pass. That's it. That is the test 3 activities you've seen now. So best practice for this: involve stakeholders, collaborate with stakeholders to identify critical test areas, be specific, use clear and concise language in test scenarios and test cases, prioritize focus on high priority feature first, create a reusable test cases, reuse test cases, create reusable test cases for recurring functionalities. So that is how the test you've seen, sample, test plan, test scenario, and test case. So you don't say, I don't know how this works. Mr. Charles didn't teach us that. I've shown everything with the example. And then we have a template we are going to be using. So in this template, like I think I've showed you guys this before, this is the product backlog, Dynamics 365, ERP, Business Central, product backlog, finance. And under it, this is what we're going to be using to test this, all the user stories in this product backlog. This is test cases. Under that, you have test ID. The test ID is GL001TC01, and the title is create a chart of accounts. That is the test case. And description: creates a chart of accounts with proper code, names, and type. And test environment: Dynamics 365 ERP environment. And precondition: you must log in as an accountant. And then chart account of the screen. There must be a chart account beforehand. Then expected result: chart of account is created and displayed correctly. And if this happens, then we say pass. If it fails, then we fail it, and it's going to become a bug, depending when we resolve the issue. So this is how a test case is going to look when you've created one. And you see here a full test case capturing a lot in Dynamics 365 Business Central. So that's it. You see a very long list of test cases I've got here. So I'm not going to start reading all of them one by one. So that's how it looks like. I think, well, I'm going to send you people. This is another another gift from me to you to copy and be rich. Yeah. I'll give you expo that will make you rich. So that's it. If you have any question,
thank you, sir.
You send your question. So that's it for tonight. Okay. We must carry out, we must test your work. It's important. You can't just finish implementing a system and say, thank you, everyone. No, well, they won't even allow that. You must test your work. You cannot blame honor.
Good evening, sir.
Yep.
So please, I want to ask a question. When you mentioned scenarios, I didn't quite understand what you meant by that.
I said the scenario is a high-level environment. It's like a feature that needs to be tested. But that feature, it's very difficult to test a whole feature. Within a feature, you need a specific input, and that is what we call test cases. So you can say a scenario to test login functionalities. We're going to test all the login functionalities. For instance, now in a DTBS, we've created a new DTBS portal. You know what course portal is?
Yeah.
And after creating the course portal, we have different login functionalities. We have login for students, we have login for admin, we have login for instructors. So we want to test that, make sure that all these people can log in very well within their different capacity.
Yeah.
We can call it a test scenario. But once we want to then start testing the test cases, we then have to go and say, okay, test case for a student login, then we're going to bring a student username and a student password. We go to login page for student portal and log in and try to see, as long as if the student is registered, can the student log in? At this thing, we are becoming specific at this point. We are picking a student and we are picking their login. We are going to their login page. That is what we call test cases. But outside that, the bigger umbrella is user functionalities, all the users. That is test. That's how you can differentiate the test case and the test scenario.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Any other hand raise? All right, people. Tomorrow we're diving into Jira. We're going to move, or we're going to start moving our work to Jira. I'll just any of us knows how? Do we know how to do this? Can anyone? Do you know how to do this? Moving items, product backlogs to Jira. Okay, we're going to do it tomorrow. So it means everyone will need to have a Jira account. So every team, you need to have a Jira, at least the whole team would have a Jira, one Jira account, a joint Jira account. The product, the project lead, we have or appoint whoever going to create a Jira account and then invite others. And yeah, but tomorrow I'll do it myself. So you see that it can be done. Once that's done, we'll start our implementation, we'll start our execution, we'll start deploying ERP system. And the ERP we are going to deploy is Dynamics 365 ERP. That is it. So if you guys have been working on any other ERP system, I've made this easy. We already have a backlog here we are going to use. That is our product backlog. We're going to use it. And that's what we're going to move to Jira. and equally implement it live, become a live environment, live enterprise application for 65. Yep, so that's it. And I'm off for my next